This game will give you an adventure, and this game will give you a challenge. What about that game? When you play that game, days will blur together. Regular meals are a thing of the past. Friends will become concerned, and the whole time you'll be unsure if you're even having fun.
One eternity later.
Bitcoin, please go to moon.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. So today is Monday. Hope you had an awesome weekend. Thank you for coming back to the channel. Pleasure to have you here. But we are back on the grind. It is Monday and Bitcoin is not really doing anything different. In fact, this has probably been one of the most boring weeks in a while for Bitcoin. I mean, with the exception of this little excitement that we had right here, we've pretty much just been going sideways, putting in a potential Bart Simpson pattern, although could be a fake out. We may head the other way. We're going to talk about that. But you do notice right here, I mean, we are just coiling up and winding up tighter and tighter, and it definitely looks like Bitcoin is going to have a major breakout very soon. Maybe even by the time you're watching this video, it could have already happened. So we're going to talk about that moving forward. Also want to talk about the fact that Bakt is launching today. A lot of excitement, well, the testing at least today. And also, I want to talk about Bitcoin becoming America's favorite asset slowly. Yes, we're going to look at some interesting polls that have been going on, and I'm going to show you right now that there is definitely massive institutional demand, and a lot of people were worried about the retail investors, like, are they coming back in? Well, I think they are. We're going to look into that, and also tokenizing the moon. Yes, it's happening, guys. I'm not kidding. Stick around for that. If that sounds good to you, then you know what to do. Also, today's Monday, and if you're new to the channel, every Monday we do give away a Ledger Nano S. All you gotta do is drop a comment on any video throughout the course of the week, and you are eligible. Now that we have that out of the way, let's give this a quick refresh live. Bitcoin is at 65.3%. dominance, and the market cap is down $1 billion overall, right? So we're seeing Bitcoin mildly down today, some of the top altcoins down as well. Binance is actually up today. It was up a little bit higher this morning. The reason for that is because they just announced their new IEO, which is Wink. Not really familiar with this one, but that probably has to do with why we're seeing the excitement for Binance, but there are some other projects up today as well. Ren is up 18%, Ravencoin, Crypto.com, Arter, Pundix, UNetwork, Theta, Huobi Token, and Walton all doing quite well today. So we do have some gainers on the front. Right now, we're still looking at pretty much sells across the board. It's almost tied with the longs and the shorts slightly pulling ahead. Maybe there's a little bit more of a bearish sentiment, right? But the thing is, if everybody thinks we're going to go down and everyone's looking at lower lows, well, you know how that goes, right? If we're all looking at the same thing, is the smart money going to pump the price instead? It's possible, right? You never know with Bitcoin. The one thing I do want to point out, though, is if you look at where we had that death cross, we're currently sitting exactly at that level. So we're very, very indecisive, especially on the 4-hour charts. Obviously, when you zoom out to the higher time frames, we're still doing just fine, but short-term price action could get pretty damn choppy. Having a look at this giant wedge that we find ourselves in, currently, look at how we're just struggling right here. There's all these different resistances that have formed ever since we had that really exuberant pump all the way up to 14,000. And if I zoom in right here, look at how Bitcoin is just struggling to break out right between this little area. So this is saying to me that we could be seeing some big moves soon. And the reason is because when Bitcoin tends to have this sort of tightening pattern. Also, let me just turn on the volume too so you could see. You also have volume declining as well. Now this is over on Gemini, but it really doesn't matter what exchange you use. And you can see right here, we're clearly going down. You can see the trend, right? So what happens when we had that in the past? Well, if we look right here, we had a wedge breakout, and now we're forming another wedge with low volume. So if we do fall lower, there is a chance we will get supported by this trend that we had started way back on May 11th. So if that's the case, then, you know, Bitcoin could come down somewhere and retest this line, which if we had a straight fall, just, you know, went straight down and had an absolute dump, well, then I would hope that we would be supported probably around the $9,200 level short term. If we were to pump, well, then, we could go all the way back up to $12,000. So yeah, we could find ourselves back in the $12,000, $12,300 level range. However, we are still currently sitting below the 21 exponential moving average on the daily. This is a very critical level. As you can see, once we break above it, we tend to skyrocket. We tend to really take off. And when we get below it, well, we're clearly struggling right now. So there's a chance that if we do maintain in this downward trend, then yes, we could end up once again down at that $8,000 Bitcoin level that we were talking about, guys. We also have an ascending broadening wedge that's been forming. As you can see right here, this is the danger zone. We have this $8,000 level, which is the absolute lowest, 8,500 for the CME gaps to get closed, although Richard Hart says that we closed them. I couldn't find that particularly on my charts, but, maybe he's looking at something different. And, at the worst case scenario, we're looking at about a $7,400 Bitcoin, but I don't personally think we're going to go that low. I'd be shocked if we go that low. But right now, like I said, we're at a very critical level. You can see we're either going to break out into this blue box region or we're probably going to fall a lot lower. In fact, I've spoken to a lot of people today that they're not really doing anything trading wise. They're actually staying quite neutral because this is one of those moments where it's very difficult to predict. In fact, back here on the market cipher B, you could see we had two green dots that signified, a long, and obviously Bitcoin pumped up. We had a really nice pump. And we also had these two back-to-back dots here that signified, other opportunities for longing. But currently on the 4-hour, we're not seeing any indicators. So maybe market cipher is just as indecisive as the rest of the traders right now. Currently having a look at the EMA ribbon, we are sitting inside of it. This is another thing we'd like to get above, right? We haven't gone all the way down to the bottom, but we have fallen out of the main ribbon itself. And once again, I just want to point out, for example, this is on Huobi. I'm trying to look at as many different, charts as we can. You can see there's still declining volume. So it's definitely signaling that there may be a massive move moving forward. And even on the 4-hour right here, you could see that we do have, a red X and a red diamond on the market cipher. But there was a signal for a trend reversal, but the question is, was that trend reversal just going down, up? Was it just this short trend reversal? And then we're going back down again. So like I said, guys, big move coming. To which direction? I'd love to tell you that I know. But right now it's a difficult one to call, guys. So yeah, once we get out, break above into this, if we go into the blue box zone, then I'm going to tell you right now, we're probably going to keep going up. But if we fall a lot lower into the red zone territory, or we hit down to this red level, then we're going to definitely be going a lot lower, guys. So that being said, I wanted to point out what one of my favorite analysts on Twitter said. He says weekly daily close was neutral. This is Josh Rager. Closed in the range between primary support resistance levels, but volatility expected to happen this week. Bollinger Band starting to pinch on the 4-hour. Hopefully we get some live action on the charts to start the week off. And I'm actually kind of surprised myself because at this time currently when I'm making this video, the East has already been up. They've been awake now for, depending on what time you get up in the morning, a good 12, 15 hours, and we haven't really seen any massive movement, and you would think that it's Monday, these guys are waking up, and usually we see some massive moves, but we didn't so far, so that is interesting. But I do want to talk about some fundamentals. I want to talk about why America is starting to say that Bitcoin is their favorite asset. Also, Bakt coming out, and let's not forget the fact that the hash rate is at, or was at, an all-time high. It hit an all-time high a couple days ago, and that was 79 tera hashes. So this is showing me that Bitcoin hash rate is at an all-time high, guys. This is amazing. The network is really secure. Miners are turning on machines. And interestingly enough, you could see over here, Phil pointed out that midterm action is most likely coming from Bitcoin miners who could be selling their mined coins, which could be seen by these 12.5 Bitcoin sell orders that he pointed out, right? Obviously, because that's the block reward, it's going to get cut to 6.25 next year in May. But that could be a sign that these guys are doing that, right? So he says they're hedging down future production while existing marginal cost of production is still low. He says, I was saying all the time in the bear market about these 12.5 Bitcoin orders. They disappeared in the bull market this year and came back around 13K. Phil theorized that the miners may be contracting their selling pre-halving to create a new halving bubble, which would present a supply shortage and opportunity to maximize their realizable revenue per unit. They will defend this new cost of production or double that the previous. Basically, he's saying $6,500 is the lowest. He says 6.5K is thou shalt not pass for the miners. So he theorizes that the miners aren't going to allow Bitcoin to go lower than 6.5K.
My name is Meltem Demirs, and I am Chief Strategy Officer of CoinShares. Today, I'd like to discuss cryptocurrencies, mainly Bitcoin, and Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin network, Bitcoin. I thank you for your time and look forward to your questions.
But let's talk about Bakt. Everybody's excited. Today, we will begin testing for Bitcoin futures. This has been long awaited, although it's still technically not actually approved by the CFTC. So we could see the actual launch still get pushed back, which would be unfortunate, but I think today is a day of a celebration because this is the first time we've actually seen some really, really positive progress from Bakt moving forward. Now, you can see right here, they're calling it a huge accelerator for Bitcoin price. Now, market research firm Fundstrat, we talked about them the other day on the channel, they said last week that Bakt will be a huge accelerator for Bitcoin growth. More than 150 institutional investors and service providers attended Bakt's institutional digital asset summit last week. We talked about this, right? They said the CFTC is seeing growing demand and interest for Bitcoin futures from the public. So this could be good. Maybe if the CFTC is seeing that demand, seeing that the public is interested, that might sway their, position. I think there's good. I think they're going to approve this. I do. I just think that they're really taking their sweet old time with it, right? But you can see right here, this was the tweet that we talked about the other day. A lot of positive things inside of it. And in fact, I wanted to talk about what Asher Westrop Evans said over at Block TV, and he was discussing about the interest as well with Bakt. And I just wanted to play this clip super quick, and you could see how these guys are really, really excited, and they do anticipate this to be a pretty big catalyst for Bitcoin, especially in the short term to midterm moving forward.
This is certainly seen as that next regulatory step that could be, some would argue, the watershed moment that really opens the floodgates. I mean, many are really hoping that this will be the case, and so there's a lot of interest still buzzing around this, and I think whether it happens this quarter, whether it happens later in 2019 or even in 2020, whenever it does happen, there will be enough excitement that will certainly drive at least a jolt, and hopefully I'm sure many in the industry would say a really big rush in from institutional investors into the industry.
All right, so
you could see that a lot of people are excited about this, and many are predicting that this could be that catalyst to really catapult Bitcoin into the mainstream, right? Don't forget, we also have Libra as well, but really quick, talking about it, obviously you're going to have to pass KYC, AML, and currently Bakt's management is waiting for regulatory clearance. Obviously, we don't have full go yet, but they are going to have, as far as their trading desk is concerned, they're planning to list a daily settlement Bitcoin futures contract, which allows traders to perform transactions in a same-day market. And they're also going to list monthly Bitcoin futures in order to enable trading in the front month and across the forward pricing curve, right? But that's not all. Not even just Bakt. Everyone's talking about Bakt. But look at what the SSRS conducted. There was a survey of Bankrate.com, and you could see Bitcoin on its way to becoming America's favorite investment option. So the question was, for money you wouldn't need for more than 10 years, which of the following do you think would be the best to invest it, right? And for most Americans, 31% said real estate was their favorite long-term investment. Real estate is a very popular investment, right? It's something that has definitely held its value over time. There's only so much land on earth. We keep populating the earth. People need places to live. People need, so, okay, we understand that. That makes sense. You could see the survey comprised a sample size of 1,015 respondents. 4% said Bitcoin. Now, I know what you're saying, only 4%. That doesn't seem like much. Well, here's the interesting thing. If you talk to the institutional investors, for example, the study that Fidelity did back in May, and this was one that was just for Wall Street investors alone, this survey concluded that 47% of institutional investors view digital assets as having a place in their investment portfolio. 72% of them prefer to buy investment products that hold digital assets. 57% prefer to buy crypto assets directly, and 57% prefer to buy an investment product product that holds digital asset companies. Now you can see right here, Bitcoin remains most popular among millennials still. So the SSRS survey conclusion agreed that, 59% of those 18 to 34 strongly or somewhat agree that Bitcoin is a positive innovation in financial technology. And this is actually up 11% from the last time that they did this back in October of 2017. Now, if you don't believe that, it's also retail as well as institutional. I mean, this came out 18 hours ago. This is a Reddit post, and I'm seeing these left and right. Getting back into crypto after taking a break. What exchanges are best for US-based trading right now? He says he tried Bybit and they wouldn't let him sign up. So you're seeing not only new people enter the space, but you're seeing people that got really discouraged, left the space, and now they're coming back in because they're seeing that the space actually is coming back to life, right? A lot of people thought that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were dead, which some of these altcoins may be dead, I'm not gonna lie, but Bitcoin is certainly not dead. Now, here's something that's been floating around the internet. It says, Bulgaria big on Bitcoin as reserves could exceed its gold stash. Here's another one that says Bulgaria's Bitcoin holdings surpassed their gold reserves. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I can't get confirmation on either one of these. I don't know if this is fake news or not. This could be completely accurate. So I was letting you guys know that this is floating around, but I haven't had confirmation on this. So I don't actually know if Bulgaria's Bitcoin holdings are bigger than their gold reserves. I'm sure within the next few days we'll get confirmation on that. But currently this is really just sort of a speculative, anonymous type random thing floating around. So take it with a grain of salt, guys. But if it turns out to be true, that's pretty incredible. Also, I just wanted to make a statement again on this tweet that I made the other day. So actually, it's been getting a lot of 229 retweets, 100 or 1.1k likes. Wow. So anyway, never ever, really, I say. So it was Mnuchin, and it was basically when he said, I don't think nefarious activities have successfully been done with cash. Now, not only is that a ridiculous statement, it's a lie. We know it's a lie. So a lot of people are looking at this and being like, if this guy can stand there and say this, to the camera, to the public, what other things is he hiding when he already knows that this is or maybe he doesn't know, but he has to know how ridiculous of a statement this is. And what's crazy is if you actually go over here to this recent study, fiat money outpaces Bitcoin 800 to 1 for money laundering, according to this report. Now, I'm not going to go into it, but it essentially says that data from Chainalysis and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime revealed that traditional fiat money is used 800 times more than Bitcoin to launder money on the darknet. The results don't even take into account estimates of money laundering through conventional markets. So basically, this is the chart right here. And this is Bitcoin. This is the dollar of Bitcoin for every other dollar of dollars actually laundered. So yeah, clearly criminals are not really using Bitcoin. And also, guys, for like the 100th time, Bitcoin is traceable. It's not anonymous. You would be an idiot to try to do something illegal with Bitcoin. So that being said, not too sure where Mnuchin's coming from, although I know that's his job. Getting off that topic. Sorry, get a little heated on that one. It's a blatant lie. He's lying. It's a lie. Stop what you're doing. Okay, moving on. So Silver had a really good week, right? Silver had its best week since 2016, but traders are still saying that Bitcoin is the better option. You could see that some investors actually interpreted the rally as a renewed interest in precious metals, but there are some veteran analysts that cautioned against buying into the hype. You have Jim Lurio, managing director at TJM Institutional Services, and he speculated that silver was receiving attention in part because of the increasing volatility of Bitcoin. That's interesting. He says, while crypto has been on a steady incline since April, the market has undergone erratic pricing throughout July, leading investors to look for more stable alternatives. I don't know if I 100% agree with that. Maybe, possibly, I'm not too sure. But Brian Stutlin, he's of Equity Armor Investments, he believes that Bitcoin is still the superior asset for investment regardless of the volatility. He says, I'd short this, not talking about Bitcoin, talking about silver. I'd throw a long gold and play the long shorts on it. I still like gold better longer term, or even Bitcoin after this big pullback here. So Stutlin attributed the falling price of Bitcoin to investors losing confidence after last week's congressional grilling of Facebook over Libra. However, he called the move out of fiat currencies real and predicted that falling interest rates around the globe would force investors into cryptos or to assets like crypto. And yeah, I kind of think that this possibly could be the situation moving forward. And if interest rates are going to stay below 2% in the United States, if they're going to stay negative in Europe, they're going to stay flat in Japan, where else are you going to put your money? So yeah, there you guys go. So that is really a lot of good news for Bitcoin moving forward. Now, talking about some crypto news, we have Noya, right? Now, we spoke about them on the channel, and currently they're up 42% right now on KuCoin. You can see right here. And when I checked it out this morning, it was only about 25%. So, okay, should you run out and buy Noya? I don't know. We talked about the pumponomics, right? And how they're really trying to increase value and not, have investors have their funds unlocked and dumped, and they have a really, really low circulating supply. I think when it came out, it was like 450K market cap. So we'll be keeping our eyes on this one for sure. Yeah, let me know if you're buying any Noya or what you're doing with that. So we'll have to see if this will work. It's a bit of an experiment, but I'm definitely excited to actually see if, these pumponomics actually work out and the price does skyrocket. So we will be keeping our eyes on Noya. Also, speaking about some updates to the Warren Buffett lunch, which I will be attending. Not the official lunch, no, but I will be attending all of the events that day. I'll be going to all of the, not all of them, but I'll be attending some of the after parties. And if any of you will be there, stop by. I'd love to say what up. Anyway, CEO of trading platform eToro, Yanni Asia, has signed up. The head of Binance Charity Fund, Helen Hai, or Hay, I don't know how to pronounce it. She's also signed up. And Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of Crypto Payment Circle, he's going as well. And you guys know Charlie Lee. He was already going to go a while ago. So that's that. Also, talking about more people being aware of Bitcoin, hearing about Bitcoin, more Bitcoin in the mainstream. Well, I guess technically this isn't really Bitcoin, but Behind the Scenes, which is a television show hosted by Lawrence Fishburne. I'm sure you're very familiar with him from the Matrix movies. So basically, this is a show that aims to educate audiences on broad, different sets of new emerging topics that affect modern society. They're doing one on I think it's the ocean, right? I think it was plastic in the ocean. You guys know all that going on. Well, now in an upcoming episode, they're going to be covering the effects of blockchain technology and the problems that this revolutionary technology can solve. Now, it doesn't specifically say Bitcoin. However, I would only assume there'd be a Bitcoin mention if it's about blockchain, right? So that would be pretty cool moving forward. And yes, it's finally happening, guys. We're tokenizing the moon. I'm not making this up. A new blockchain project has launched a registry that would divvy up and tokenize portions of the lunar surface. The goal of this project is purportedly to secure the possible right of man to the moon to propose a solution to who owns the moon. A lunar registry will reportedly secure access to the moon. Okay, I don't even know if... all right, this is just a novelty, right? This is just for fun. Please, somebody let me know. I do remember back in the day, they used to have those things where you could, you could buy a star or have a star named after you, but it was really just novelty. It was for fun. It wasn't really you're actually going to own a star or own a piece of a planet, right? So I don't know. Looks fun, interesting, gimmicky, probably harmless. So check it out. Have a look at that. Also, Pedro, MVPG over here, he says, I'm working on a board game to explain Bitcoin to friends and family. So check this out. It's called HODLer of Last Resort. Very similar to Monopoly, where you go around the board right here. So some of the spaces you can land on are contentious hard fork. You've bet on the wrong fork. Take 1/10 of your Bitcoin and divide it amongst the other players. Mt. Gox hack. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. Transfer 8 Bitcoin to a hacker's address. Genesis block. It's really cool. I mean, obviously, they might kind of fix it up, make it look really nice with some graphics and stuff, but it could be fun. I'd be interested in giving it a shot to play it. But finally, guys, like Tim Draper said, with all of this interest, Lawrence Fishburne is talking about blockchain. Bakt is, they're doing their testing today. Libra definitely got a lot of attention, brought a lot of attention because people were talking about Bitcoin, right? So that being said, guys, like Tim Draper says, bridges to a Bitcoin environment is all these things are building. And eventually, once people find out about Bitcoin and now they have a Libra coin or whatever the heck they're holding, and they have that opportunity to get into the crypto space that much easier, well, yeah. Definitely. So, that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. We do have to do the Ledger Nano S giveaway, so I am going to... We had 8 videos last week, okay, because we actually had the Market Cypher special, so we're doing, Monday through Sunday, but there's one day that in there that's an extra day. So, Monday, My goodness. So we have to go to Monday's video, which was Bitcoin recovery or dead cat bounce. Is now the best time to buy Bitcoin? So let's hop over here. Copy this. Oops, taking me a little bit of while here. Go over to the comments. Let's see what we got here. This is for the Ledger Nano S giveaway. We have 561 unique comments. All right, drum roll, please. Hey K-Dub, thank you for your analysis and insights. Dollar cost average is the name of the game, even though Bybit is more fun when you win. I 100% agree with you, Craig. I 100% agree with you. Here's the thing. You don't have to be trading every single day. People think every day I need to be making a trade. Every day I need to be doing something. No, you don't, okay? You don't have to be trading on Bybit every single day. Wait for setups. Wait for opportunities. Wait for chances when we're in a trend, when we are going up, or when you know that we've hit clear resistance, right? Or clear support. Totally agree with you. Dollar cost average strategy, still the #1 strategy. So Craig, you are the winner of the Ledger Nano S. You know what to do. You have 24 hours to contact me. You could do that either in the About section officially, send me an email, or you can go to the Telegram group, link here and also in the description. As you guys know, I will never reach out to you. I will never do any type of giveaways in the comments below. There's tons of scammers. We block them every single day. That being said, thank you so much for everybody that's been coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day. It's Monday, but before we go, I need to have a look. We're not doing anything. We're still just sitting here, guys. Really boring. So yeah, but like I said, look at this. It does look like we're coiling up. So I would expect there to be a move, maybe even by the time you guys see this. Yeah. So that being said, thank you so much for coming back to the channel. If you're interested in trading on Bybit, you guys do know I have a tutorial popping up below, also down in the description.